But in terms of his aesthetic, I don't think anybody knew style like Michael.
Oh my
And
God.
when you're talking about bling, it's like we was discussing the other day. You know, that some of those artists, they know how to put a bling on their finger, and some of them will have a bling around the necklace. You've
Or
got
even
you've got
in their mouth.
in their mouth, you got
Bling.
bling teeth. But Michael was bling from head to toe. You think
Yeah.
about that Billie Jean song when he was at the Motown. The whole shirt was blinging. He was blinging all over the
Oh,
place.
God.
His socks is blinging.
Even
his glove.
the video,
He created
Africa.
bling.
What was the one they did for Africa?
No,
Feed the
To
world.
heal the world.
No, the
Which
song
one?
where all the stars got together. USA for Africa.
Yeah, heal the world. Make it a better place.
No, when all you people don't know Michael.
I know, yeah. I know the one that you're talking
You
about
people
because
don't know
they played it.
Michael.
I know the
You
one
told
you're
me you
talking
knew Michael
with
before
Diana
we-
Ross and all of them.
Yeah,
in the
there you go.
studio.
There you go. There you
Yes.
go.
Sorry.
Anyway, but if you look inside that, from head to toe, Michael,
He's
the
got
moccasins.
style.
He made moccasins look so
He made
stylish.
3/4 length trousers, Miss Shaw. So the whole of the Rasta regime came out with the 3/4 length trousers because of Michael.
This is
But
the
yeah.
thing. He wore
Yeah,
like
he
you know
was-
you will see
oh,
them,
gosh.
but even now you see the ragga artists them on stage and they have on the Versace and the bling and whatever. But Michael was the king of bling. He first
Yeah,
started
the
it. He
king
just
of
wasn't
bling.
so in your face with it. But if
Mhm.
you look at him especially when he went solo, Michael Jackson,
Oh,
everything that he
wow,
touched
was just so amazing.
And I think
bling.
it's that magnificence he had, isn't it? Because
Yes.
when you look at him, like with the soldier's outfit,
Yes.
when he's doing
Military
that kind
uniform,
of the military
yes.
uniform, when he was in Thriller, everybody started to wear that red jacket, and I don't even think that was meant to be a fashion statement
Yes.
because he was a werewolf. Damn it,
Yeah.
you know. How many people?
But you see,
But
this is the
that
thing.
jacket is still alive today.
But that's the beauty about Michael, in that when you talk about a lot of artists today, the rappers and those kind of guys, they big up all these fashion labels, the Prada, the Gucci. They wear their
Versace.
names, the Donna Karan, and they just look like they think they look good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Something about it isn't right when you have someone's name all over your body.
Yeah, you're carrying
Michael,
somebody else.
we obviously knew that he had a badass designer who was
Mhm.
doing his clothes,
Mhm.
but Michael wasn't there to promote the designer. It was all about bringing out Michael.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wasn't wearing nobody's labels.
Yeah,
No, it was
because that
about
was his
himself.
I want
the
that
thing
beauty
about
jacket.
It is that Michael's clothes.
I want that
you know,
jacket.
if you look at Jay-Z, then Jay-Z's jacket looks like P Diddy's jacket, and P Diddy's jackets look like 50 Cent's jacket, and they all look the same. I
Yes.
don't see their jeans all hang the
Yes.
same. It's just like they told me the other day that one of P Diddy's jeans cost £1 million.
Whatever.
Couldn't understand why, but it did. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But they all look the same. There was no Michael in every way is an
Yeah.
inventor, an innovator, and a pioneer. Right down to the
Every
socks
level.
on him foot. What am I say?
Yeah.
Right down to the socks.
Would you walk down the street though with a guy wearing glitter socks and a glove on his
if his
hand?
name was Michael Jackson, I did it, and I did it in my dreams over and over
Over.
and over.
Well, he
again.
just broke everything to the
Yes.
outer stratosphere, didn't he?
Yes.
Everything he did, he was like, look, I'm not come to follow fashion, I'm come to set it. I'm more than
Understand
to
me?
set it. I'm come to set it in a way that you can't replace it, you can't imitate
That's
it.
it.
Because you could
Yes.
imitate Beyonce and don't look like Beyonce, still look like yourself. You can imitate Rihanna or any of those so-called artists that are running today, and still you could imitate Bob Marley and nobody would say, oh, she looks like Bob Marley. But anyhow, you try to look like Michael Jackson, see what people are gonna say.
It's just
You
not
look
gonna
like
happen.
Michael Jackson. That you don't look like you again. You look like, you understand? He's an original, a one
Yeah.
cut.
The thing is with Michael, like I said, because again comes the lyrics in his song, and like you're saying, girlfriend and those songs in his song. You mean, yeah, and anything for me,
Beautiful song.
again, PYT, Pretty Young Thing. Again, when Michael, I think Wanna Be Starting Something spoke to the guys, and PYT, Pretty Young Thing spoke to the girls. It talked about how the girls were supposed to see themselves, and it went on to say, you need some TLC, tender loving care, and I'll take you there. And he's saying to them that this is how they were supposed to see themselves. There was even a point in the song where he's saying to you, pretty young girls, repeat after me, say nah, 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 nah. When the man then come to you and they're not coming to you like that,
So okay, let's give them an example.
Na, na,
if I'm a guy and I go, psst,
no.
We say na 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 na. And that Michael tell us to say no, but
Michael
I'm going.
said, nah, nah, nah. He was sure to tell them, you want to say, I want you to love you, PYT, pretty young thing, tender loving care. So no man was supposed to be healing you up on road, want daughter, psst, and all them things there. That wasn't how, and Mike was imploring the girls to see themselves as PYT. And so for me, I suppose when I was growing, that's why a lot of people thought, and still to this day, that enough. But that's okay. You understand me? Because I know there's a certain way you're supposed to speak to me. Michael said PYT with PLC. Okay. And if you don't approach me in that way,
you can't get me.
You can't have me.
Just. So if you're listening, that's how it goes.
It just goes to show you, this is why Michael found it so hard to get a relationship. There were all these women around the world psychically tearing this man apart. Every night somebody had Michael Jackson. Millions of women all over the world.
I didn't actually go to the point of where he's saying he was in a relationship with my girl Tatum O'Neal, where he said she's out of his life, because that track he wrote for her, because like when I read one of his article magazines that have come out now, he's saying is that she wanted a physical relationship with him and he wasn't quite ready. I actually have never want to say I don't want to say degrade, but I've never actually, I thought I wanted to wait till I met him and then he'd look me in the eye and say, you and me. You know what I mean? So I've never dreamt about him in that way or imagined him without his
that people was right, you're enough. You're enough.
But I adored him and I continue to adore him and will always adore him. And trust me, the first plane out of here that I can get to go to America, to be where Michael has been laid, or just to be where he was on his memorial, I definitely want to tell you, I will be going there.
Yeah,
no
I mean, for
got
me,
to be there.
Got to be
there.
I think as black people, through our time, we've seen so many, and even before that we know of, we've seen so many of our people being pulled down. And I think with Michael, we've seen for the last 10 years there's been a serious attack on Michael, and we have sat aside while they killed our legend. And I think now that he's passed away, we are going to look back, and in 10 years time, 20 years time, 50 years time, we're going to look and say, damn, that was another one of our great men that was torn down. And we are the same. We did it every generation. We do it. When Garvey was around, we tore him down. You know, Garvey, somebody said they saw Marcus Garvey for rice and peas with one black
burning spear. Yeah, man.
Trust me.
Selling for rice and peas. When Malcolm was up there, it was his own blacks that shut down Malcolm because he said he was too radical. He was too this or that. And now you got Martin Luther King.
Like they said, it's the truth. You know, how long, are we going to stand by and see them? One of the things that broke Michael, and we're going to come to that later on, is, how they tried to bring him down. And you will hear him over and over again. He comes with that song, Leave Me Alone. You heard in the memorial, his brother stood up and said, maybe now. Yes, maybe now they will, you will leave him alone. And it hasn't stopped, because, here it is now. There'll be things now about whether the children was his and whether he biologically donated the sperm that fathered them. Does it matter? He adopted them. You heard them say he was our dad. 98.7.
The On a Level talk show, 98.7. www.newstarradio.co.uk.
Michael, like I said to you earlier on, is not only bowed down to by the common man, i.e. LJ and me.
No problem with that.
LJ and me, myself and yourself.
Yes.
But the biggest stars, the kings of this planet, the so-called celebrity kings, the Obama, who is a king as a head of a state, no matter who, Mandela, no matter who they
Princess
Diana, all of them have to bow down to Michael Jackson. So when you have statesmen looking up to you as a king, then you become king of kings. When you come in this world and you don't harm, you give out more goodness than what you receive. When you're attacked and persecuted for your righteousness, because up till now we don't know what they was persecuting for, and there's no evidence of his persecution. Falsely accused. What did they accuse Garvey of?
Robbing and stealing from black people.
Right. They always go to the heart of what our people are dealing with the most.
And they say Bob Marley was a drug taker, and they used to mock him because he saw Haile Selassie as God. But basically they had him as a drug addict. Same way they're doing to Michael Jackson now, by the way.
Trying to claim him to be a drug addict. So, when Michael is blameless, blemishless, He's pure. He's inspired millions on this planet. He's a multi-billionaire. He's been able to...
Multi-billionaire? He's a millionaire.
No, well...
He became a billionaire.
And a multi-billionaire, because then a 1 billion him have. Don't challenge me,
He left.
Ankhobia.
I'm challenging you. He left 1.4 billion in his will.
Well, that's a multi-billion.
That's not multi.
No, that's in his will. But what about him property and estate?
But don't forget, that was part of the problem.
Yeah,
that
but he died
his
as
assistant says, the sister from Uganda, the problem with Michael, he spent money like a billionaire, but he was only a millionaire.
You're mashing up my speech.
So,
Look, I want Michael to be a multi-billionaire. I don't care what you want to say.
then you have him as a multi-billionaire.
When
I'll have him as a
Michael
millionaire.
had more money than Solomon, okay?
Did Solomon ever have money though, according to that?
Well,
he had women, but did he have money?
well, I don't know, because he had wealth.
Mm.
You know, I just think that everything that I have learned about a great person, Michael exemplifies it. He exemplifies that concept of reaching for the stars. Never, the phoenix, the bird that's always kicked down and rises back up again out of the ashes. I can't think of any aspect of greatness that I qualify, that I recognize and would want to qualify in, that I can't identify Michael to. So yes, by all means, to me, he's a legend of our times.
LJ,
Michael, for me, you know what I mean, I'm reading again from one of his memorabilia collections in his own words.
Which he brought every single copy.
Which I have brought, many copies. I mean,
and you've made those newspapers rich, LJ. Buying on those newspapers who were slandering Michael.
What I bought them for is the articles to read and to sort of, put together in my own mind the story about Michael. I didn't really see us putting money into their pockets. Unfortunately, I don't live in America where I can get the real story. So the only thing I have is what is what I can get like in paper, which I thought
you said you were going to be his wife. You need the tabloid to tell you about your husband.
I need the tabloid to tell me some of the things.
I knew I was the real wife. You're matey. That's a matey argument.
Michael Jackson said that the thing that he liked most about living on stage was to make people happy. Here he describes himself: I am here on earth for a reason. That's my job to do that. I have been doing it for so long as people enjoy it, I'll be happy. In his own words, Michael believed that he was put on earth for a reason. He recognized that he got a special talent, just like many of our prophets realize that they're special talent and they have a talent, and their talent is to give and to share and for us to leave something, a legacy for us to embrace and to follow. Michael believed that was his legacy, and his legacy will live on, because truly, whether we didn't know it before, we certainly know it now, that he was a gifted and talented man. And we love you, MJ.
I second that emotion.
Keep saying that. We love
that
you.
emotion. I second that. Okay. You're saying, Rema, that you believed that he would have listened to an artist like Bob Marley. Would you put him into the same category?
Would I put him into the same category as Bob Marley?
Yes, in terms of being a great, legendary artist.
Well, to me, he's more than Bob in a way, although I do not want to offend any Bob lovers, because I love Bob to the maximum. I love Bob to the maximum. But Bob Marley did not have that global impact as what Michael. I've traveled a lot, and I've seen how people react to certain people. And Bob Marley, by all means, is up there, especially on the continent of Africa. He's well up there. But what happens is that Bob Marley can often be restricted to the Rasta movement. Don't get me wrong, I know lots of non-Rastas love him, and I know lots of other races love him. But the global impact that Michael has had on us is just outstanding. And like I say, every generation have grown with him and loved him. Bob Marley didn't have a way of reaching over generations, over as many boundaries. And I have to walk tentatively when I'm speaking, but I have to speak tentatively because I know that Bob has done a lot of those things.
Massive.
So what I would say is that to the level, because Bob didn't cause this stir on the planet. It's as if Michael coming out of this world has shook. It's as if a little meteor has hit the planet, and everybody's been shaken.
It's true.
Now you didn't have that impact when Bob died. When I heard that Bob died, I was like, Bob dead, and he says years ago, it meant nothing.
But for some people, it was.
Some people it would have, but what I'm saying,
it was serious.
It was
serious.
serious when Bob died.
I'm not
I came
saying
home
that.
from school and I was like, you what? You know what I mean? It's the same like, for me when Michael Jackson, I was actually at a meeting. My sister called me, you know what I mean? Again, because of she knowing, you know what I mean, how I felt about like Michael Jackson. My sister called me. She said, "Mike, turn on the TV. Michael Jackson's dead." And I was like, "What do you mean Michael Jackson's dead?" You know what I mean? And I turned on the TV and I was in a business meeting. The meeting closed there and then, and I was in a state of shock for about 20 minutes before I could get in my car and drive home.
The whole night.
And I got in the car, and as it happened, you know what I mean, like I said, Michael was, one of my inspirational CDs was in the car, and Man in the Mirror we talk about is one of my, and as soon as I got in the car, I played that track over and over all the way home, and I cried until I got home and I heard the news, and unrest was the only word I could describe.
Okay. From Bob's death also had an impact on you.
It
as
did,
well.
definitely. When I came home from school and heard that Bob Marley, I was like, what do you mean? I again wanted to be in Jamaica at the time, just like I felt I wanted to be in America. Because a part of me, I grew up in Jamaica, and so therefore I knew, the impact of Bob's death would have like on Jamaica, and I wanted to be with people that felt like I felt. You understand me? That was the balance.
I went to Jamaica the year Bob Marley died, and it was it was a few months after he died. I even went to his tomb. I've got a beautiful picture of me and my sister outside the tomb, and Bob Marley was all over that vibe, that air. Everywhere you went was Bob Marley songs, Bob Marley songs. But I do.
Don't get me wrong. This is what I'm saying. I do walk tentatively because Bob is a great man, and I don't devalue that. I love Bob. I play Bob more than I play Michael. Yeah. You understand? But in terms of Bob's death and impact on this planet, and what it will mean into eternity, I do think that Michael is much further up there, much further up on the scope. And like I said, what's happened with Bob, as years have gone by, people started to appreciate Bob Marley more and more. I remember when Bob Marley came to England at some of his concerts, and my sister went along, and she said it was mostly white people that was at his concert, know. So in terms of him being fixed in the heart of African people in those early days, I don't think so. But I think as the years have gone by, you don't feel like you've gone out and heard reggae until you've heard Bob Marley. But you just don't feel it, do you?
Yes.
But yeah, I do feel that Michael is I don't even want to compare the two.
Yeah, he was more of a global figure though, Michael, wasn't he? He's more of he was a figure that was more in the public eye. It's not that I think he was more than Bob Marley. He was just more in the public eye. That's all it was. More media attention was focused on on him. You know what I mean?
And, I think I agree with that. I think when they, like any great person, when the greater the attack, the greater that person becomes. And the onslaught on Michael was so intense for these last 10 years. It was so intense that, at the point where I heard the news, I just landed in Africa. I flew on the 25th of November, and the 25th of June. So I landed in Africa the next day, and I was greeted at the airport by my daughter, who says, "Mommy, I'm so sorry, Mike, about Michael." I says, "Who's Michael?" She says, "Michael Jackson." I says, "What's the matter with Michael Jackson?" She says, "He's dead." And a part of me, although I'm intensely sad, felt a little bit of a relief that all the problem was over, that all the pressure was over, that all that constant attack, and I was feeling it for him. There's so many years. I remember when I spoke with Mark, my daughter's baby father, and we both spoke about it either 2 years ago or some time ago, that we wish in a way that Michael would retire, not because we don't want to see him anymore, but we just don't want to get him to have the attack. And then we don't want to see him physically weaken as a human being and let them celebrate seeing his destruction. We just want that legend, that beautiful boy that we saw coming up, that energy, that meteor rising to fame and bursting, reaching its maximum point. That's where I would have loved the story to rest. So I wanted Michael to retire.
Maybe it's best that it happened this way, in the sense that the world has just been shook up. It's been hit with a meteor. Everyone's now had to recognize Michael Jackson is really the king.
Yeah.
Yes, that Michael Jackson is really the king. That he really is great.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So by it happening this way, Michael's almost like he's had the last laugh. Like, say what you've got to say. I'm gone.
Yeah.
No, now.
Yeah.
I run things when I was here.
Well, I
and
think
I'm
when
running
we
things
show,
now I'm gone.
yeah. Well, I think when your listeners listen back to
Yes.
the compilation that we have of him later, you'll see that energy in him. Where basically what Michael is saying is, I'm not scared. You can't stop me. I'm larger than life. I'm coming at you, and I'm never gonna stop. I know who I am. I'm not weak. I'm not scared. You know, you get that energy coming out of him when you look at this little fine talking guy who looks so frail. The amount of power, you know, you imagine all the world's media on you 24/7. I can't listen.
Even the record companies like Sony on his case trying to tear him apart.
By all means, it's the attack is the attack was great.
Yes.
The attack was intense until we were all participating in it.
Why?
Not in participating in the way of attacking, but feeling like we're in that fight
In that
somewhere.
fight,
You know,
yeah,
I went to Jamaica. I remember when the whole of his court case came up, and I was arguing with some Bobo Rasta, with Naya Bingy Rasta, with all of the Rasta them, because they're like, no, what Michael I go on with no good and rare. And I'm like, look,
Don't judge the man.
don't judge the man, and you who is Rasta, you who is struggling, you know what it is to have our people under attack. So you get the news for yourself. You can't tell live vision, as you call it, come inform you about one of your own people. They themselves call it that. And they give you reason. No, you know, so I used to have some heated debate. And I got to the point, I spoke to one of my good friends who was a social worker when all that attack was going on. And, you know, I don't know why I ask questions, because I don't want to hear certain answers. You know, and I said to her, you know, what do you think about this thing with Michael, and do you think it's true? And she's a social worker, and she says, yes, it's true. I never wanted to talk. My friendship dwindled with her.
From there
Trust
on
me,
in,
and I just didn't value
Yeah.
her as a social worker in that capacity. Because I think, how can you not know human character, that you can, you know, judge a person's behavior and see, you know, judge differently from what the media says to what the reality of what you see and know.
Well, if you look at the media now, it's almost like, okay, we didn't quite get everybody to believe that he was, you know, sexually abusing children.
So now he's a drug addict.
We will get people to believe he was a drug
Addict instead. Yeah.
This is the thing that they depict, is that, you know, whatever it is, let's face it, Michael Jackson was known and described himself. Whatever anybody wants to say, I go again when I say man in the mirror. Michael Jackson talked about himself as the Peter Pan. He knew that inside, and he talks about his childhood. And even in, like I said, another one of the magazines that I've brought up on Michael Jackson says, when all the children used to come home from school and need to see all the children outside playing, his dad had them rehearsing, you know what I mean, and practicing. That's all they did. And so therefore he never had that chance to grow up. Now I can look at that, you know what I mean, and as a worker, a qualified social worker, I could never condemn Michael Jackson, because I don't know the facts. You need to know the facts. You understand me? Before, because when I go to somewhere to make an assessment, when I walk into the room, what I see, like if I was in that baby P case, I want to tell you, if I was a social worker, that child would not have died in that house. But there you have it. The facts were in front of this social worker that went twice a week for 6 months, and she never removed that child. So you can only speak about the facts. Michael Jackson's facts was, he never had a childhood and he never grew up. I can identify with that. When I was growing up, we was 5 children and my mum was growing up. My mum couldn't afford a lot of things. I had to share trainers with my sister. First thing we did when we got our school thing was to look that PE didn't clash, because we needed to share trainers. Let me tell you something. I own right now, from the day I was working until this day now, I own, and I sent a bag probably of about 50 trainers to Africa. I still own now probably about 60 or 70 pairs of trainers. It's an obsession with the fact that when I was young and growing, I wasn't able to have them. So now that I can afford it, I will have it. When he was growing, he never had those things. Like, you know, he talks about here about Neverland and surrounding himself with theme park. He says, I can't go to the theme park, and I want to do those childlike things of going to the theme park. So he built Neverland. I can't go to the zoo. So he built that into the animals, and then he started to share it with people and disadvantaged people and whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, he went to the point of, you know, there comes a point where you have to cut off and realize you can't have sleepovers, you know what I mean, as a big man. But in his mind, He just saw it as a sleepover.
Yes,
He was still a child. Then when you hear him talk, he talks about the innocence. It's like, how can you be so rude? See, people like that gets to me. Is that, you think of Gary Glitter, he's been tried and condemned. I have still to see any red top paper, media paper in England, interested, or them sending Martin Bashir to interview him. When Matthew Kelly was accused of the same thing, he's a presenter on TV.
Yes.
Matthew Kelly, and he was cleared. When Matthew Kelly was then cleared, you have never heard nobody else ask Matthew Kelly again after that about this incident. It's just that. You know what I mean? There it is. We can't. He went to court and he was acquitted.
He was acquitted.
The thing is, like I said, he just didn't want to grow up, and you can't. If you lived his
I think
life,
that's a strong statement.
I think so.
I really do. He didn't.
I agree
Michael
with
Jackson was such a businessman.
Yeah,
he had such an intelligent mind. Children can't think like that and do those
there was
sorts of things.
not as in a whole person, but a part of him remained a child. You mean?
But isn't there a part of us
That
that always remains a child?
That's right.
It's that society forces it out of us. I'm glad he could hold on to that
That's
child in
right.
him.
That's right.
Somebody
I'm glad-
find my child. Somebody find my inner child.
Ankhobia, I'm so glad you said that, because I agree with everything else that you say, LJ, in terms of Gary Glitter being a proven paedophile.
Yes.
Nobody no care.
Nobody's not
You know what I
talking about
mean?
it.
Michael goes to court. He's scrutinized by the whole world.
Yes.
Every child that went up said Michael. Every superstar star that went up said that Michael was great and he never did anything out of order. The ones who did come out were proven to come from bad backgrounds and disadvantaged and needed the money.
Yes.
Needed the money, were looking money. It was such a
Imagine
stupid.
you're gonna say someone has abused your child and you take money for it. That shows me you only wanted
You're
the money.
the abuser. You're the one
you're
who's
the abuser.
You're the
But you
abuser.
couldn't take money.
Because you're putting your
You couldn't
child
do
in
that
that
to my child and
in
come
that
and give me
scenario.
money.
You
Yes.
wouldn't want money from that because it's soiled money, isn't it? You wouldn't want that money. It's
But-
soiled
But
money.
what we're saying is that Michael was trialed. He was accused, which any one of you, and you black guys out there and black men out there, when you are accused of rape, when you're accused of troubling somebody else's pitney, when you're accused of bad behavior, you know what it is like to have
As a
something
black
thrown
man in
at
the
you
system.
as a black man. Now, Michael was arrested and dragged to the police station like any old common fool out there,
Bruised up.
common criminal. Okay, so he went through all of that. He was attacked on a public arena. He had all eyes looking at him, psychiatrists, psychologists, every kind of and ism and schism was down on Michael to scrutinize him and his behavior. So he came out smiling and he came out acquitted. So we have to accept that. I mean, many of us challenge the legal system of America, especially, but we challenge it because of how destructive it is against the black man. So when you get a black man who is acquitted in America, then you know that it's not just a legal system that's giving him justice, but God himself had to step in there, because America don't joke when it comes to black people.
Injustice.
But let me just finish off the point, LJ, about Michael being childish. And I love the way that both of you said that we've all got a childish aspect of us. Now, I know the worst thing about growing up is losing your childish innocence. And Michael, again, Ankhobia, I have to support the point you said. Michael was a businessman.
Yeah, man.
No matter what I'm telling you, that Michael, it was broke.
Michael owned half of Sony Records. Half of Sony Records.
Okay, a lot of Michael died with how much billion?
1.4 billion.
1.4 billion in our bank account. Let's just say in our bank account. So that's a countable amount. Now, none of you that's listening out there have even counted a billion of anything, not even sand. You haven't counted a billion of. Much less money. This is not a child. This is a man and a big businessman. This is a man. I don't know any children out there who set fashion. I don't know any children out there who can sing and create song and create lyric and inspire celebrities and inspire the wise and the fool to buy. I don't know the pitney or steer like that. So nobody can tell me. Michael is a man amongst men. You understand? when you look at him in the track, when he talks about beat it and bad and all of those things, he knows what it is. All of these lyrics that you're giving us, LJ, about, you know, you PYT, you pretty little thing, treat a woman tenderly, treat a woman with loving care. That is a father, that is a mature man who knows how to communicate. Look here, man. Not tell me, sir. Michael was a pitney. And not that I'm challenging anything you're saying, LJ, because I understand that Michael said himself that I was Peter Pan, you know. But I know that the days that I'm happiest in myself is when some of that childish innocence is in me, and I can laugh like a little pitney and play, you know, when me and my husband play around the house and hit each other with pillar. When children come to my house, I don't have no problem with them sleeping in my bed. I don't see anything in it, and I don't know why. It's only a perverted mind who's going to start looking.
That's why I'm telling you. You see, we come from a different category altogether.
10 people in the bed, 10 children in the bed.
10 people in the bed, top to toe. You understand me? This is how when you're living. You understand me? Like in Jamaica, anywhere in the Caribbean, you see somebody say, oh, the child mother dead. Nobody don't worry, because somebody just take on that child. You don't have to go to court and adoption and all of those things. We come from a different set of people. You understand me? Look at the size of Michael Jackson's family that he came from. Ask him when he was growing up, did he ever share a bed with those brothers and sisters? I want to tell you that when they were living in Gary, Indiana, I put it to you that probably all 7 of them slept in the same bed. It just is like that. It's and he just didn't see it any other way, you know.
Neither did we.
And neither did we.
Other people.
This is
how many of you have got little children out there? I know that any little small children that's in my family would be so excited at the prospect of spending the whole day with Michael Jackson, of being in the same bed, going to bed at night, and in the comfort of knowing that he's at their bed foot, because he didn't go in the bed with them. That was made clear by everybody. He didn't sleep in the bed with none of the
same room.
He was sleeping in the room. I know the children would love it to fall asleep knowing that Michael Jackson was watching over them.
Adults
in the house when we were young girls.
Sleeping at the foot of the bed, you mad?
You're so excited every minute.
You mad? Let me tell you something. There would be him singing that song, "Leave Me Alone," would have come on a lot earlier.
I'm telling you,
trust me.
Security lock out of the bedroom.
You have to understand that, it's just like when I lived in Jamaica and my family came from America, especially when my sister. When I lived in Jamaica and my family came to visit, especially my sister, my eldest sister, when she came, I never left her for a minute. I was so excited to see her. I wanted to be in the bed. I wanted to be in the bathroom. I went everywhere that she went. Yeah. You understand me? So the excitement of being with somebody like, Michael Jackson, an icon, and you can share his room, and Michael's got like all game machines in there and play games and whatever, and you're standing on the bed and you're all them things that your mother don't allow you to do in your house. And here is this superstar icon, got you and him doing, car racing, standing on the bed going, playing the wing whams and all of them things there. It's just the child in him. We all have the child. I tell you, I don't know that the child in me is ever going to expire, because I refuse to allow it. No. When my grandson, where a big woman like you, that boy, you play netball. You find husband for marry, I have picnic. I'm talking about. And the people in my team are 20 years my junior. So I don't understand that I'm ever going to grow up. My girls and me, I truly believe, like I probably in my head, physically, that we're the same age. And that's how I hurt my leg the other week. I thought I'd race a 10-year-old, because that's what it never occurred to me that, because she's young, she can just run. I need to warm up my muscles first. And because I didn't, I heard a ping in my hamstring, and then I realized, something, you're of
5 years
age.
Older.
Yeah, I mean,
you're 5 years older than that 10-year-old.
Your muscles need warming up. So that's just how it is. The part of you, in some people, a part of them refuses to grow up, and a part of you, if you become an adult and have missed out on your childhood, a part of you yearns for that, and you try to make up for it. I am still trying to make up for bits in my childhood, and I think that's probably why my adult life, in some areas, I would find is quite sort of disorganized, because I'm still trying to be that child, but really I can't, because I have to let go of some of the things. I'm not willing to altogether let go, but what I can hold on to I will, and what I have to accept, like paying the bills.
Don't worry, I'm gonna find your husband. I'm gonna find your. He can pay the bills and all that, and you can still play around and be the child you want to be.
I've come to the conclusion that this is it for me. This is it.
Michael
because-
was it?
This is it.
A single life.
Enough.
This,
Enough.
This is it. That's what Michael Jackson said. The final curtain. This is it.
There's another Michael Jackson out there somewhere.
I doubt it never. I doubt it never.
I don't think Michael would want you to remain single because he's gone.
I think when I go to America and we have that moment, then I come back, I'll probably be a different person.
Yeah, Ankhobia. I just think it's just too easy for people to judge. And the way LJ keep on saying, look at the man in the mirror, I would really like to invite all of your listeners just to take stock and just consider that if from the age of 5 you've had billions of people scrutinizing every move that you make, you tell me if you think you'd come out as clean as Michael.
Yeah.
Because I know I wouldn't.
And I know I wouldn't. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you look about your life, is that, like I said, I keep going back to that song because it is a poignant song.
Yeah.
Look at many of us, even in our community, when we laugh and joke and we talk, when 2 or 3 of us are gathered talking and we're talking, we always get excited, we're talking loud. To an English person, we're having an argument, but we're not, we're just reasoning and having a laugh. So this is the thing, you people looking from the outside looking in, their perception of who we are and how we live and how we carry ourselves is completely different. You mean something that you'd see happening on Soul Road, Handsworth, where our people are there going on. We would just walk past and think, it's an everyday thing. You're in the middle of something Coldfield Solly Hall. Somebody would have probably dialed the police. You know what I mean? It's just like that.
Yes,
But the difference in culture is that with us, you don't have a nice, quiet neighborhood, but find out under the patio that 50 people have been buried there.
There you go.
It's
Because anything we do, we put it in the light.
we're
You
low.
understand me?
We're low. If we're criminal, we're low. If we're good, we're low. No matter what it is that we do, we're loud.
We're
going to shut it
Other
up. It's going to be in
races,
public.
they're
Like I
very
said,
quiet, but they're deadly.
You think about it again. I go back
Under
to
the
you and I
patio.
say to you, this is the thing. Gary Glitter he was as big in English music. Yeah, he was one of their English icons, Gary Glitter was. Since he has been found, tried guilty, he came back to
Left
England.
him alone.
Somebody tried to trace him down on one of the coast or whatever. But you have not seen anybody try to get him to the TV
harass
studios
him.
and harassing him every day to find out where he is and
They
where
never even
he's
harassed
living.
him and slandered him in the media.
In the
too
media,
tough.
all they did,
They did, but
they
not
found
not
him,
too tough,
and
yeah.
they found him, and they said, "Is it right that he should be living where he's living?" And they were concerned that probably was living near a vicinity. But you have not seen no red top persecute and follow him. You have seen nobody try to interview him. They haven't got Martin Bashir on his case. They haven't got nobody, no newsreader on his case. No, he has not been called to answer as into why, and he has been charged. And in fact, he admits, because he said that the girl told him she was 13. That's still under the legal age. I think, however, in the foreign where he committed the crime, there is it's a different legal age over there. But like I said, nobody, when it happens in their backyard, they don't want to talk about it. I will go as far as to say, tried and acquitted, leave him alone.
You're listening to Ankhobia on New Style Radio 98.7.
This is the Unlevel Talk Show, New Star Radio 98.7 FM. A special tribute to Michael Jackson. I did one a few days ago, but it was a musical tribute. I didn't say too much on that show. I just wanted to play the music of Michael. But today it's different. You get an older talk, mainly from Rema and LJ. Okay, like I said, this is a special tribute. LJ wants so badly to be the girlfriend, the wifey of Michael Jackson. I've given her that privilege. She's my sister. I gotta help her out. I had Michael for many, many years. Ladies, thank you ever so much for coming on to the On A Level Talk Show. I've enjoyed this conversation ever so much, and I know you listeners out there have as well. Let's just sum up for everybody. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson for you, and Michael Jackson, what you think people should take from Michael Jackson?
Born as an innocent into a loving family, as a beautiful young boy who grew into a lovely young man who brought inspiration to all the communities across the world, who used his music to inspire others and to touch. He inspired others. He was a legend, and as Michael Jackson said, he came into this world to, as he felt that he was put on this earth for a purpose, and he delivered that purpose on so many levels. How can we not celebrate what grew from a tiny acorn that grew into a beautiful flower?
A beautiful oak tree.
We love you. We have always loved you. You have always been ours, and from now till the end of time, you will always be ours. We love you. It's just.
Oh, she's a real lover. You
That
don't
was
find her
really
after
nice,
all.
LJ.
She's not a fighter after all. She's a lover.
I love him.
She's a lover. She's
I
a
think
lover.
if I'm going to sum up Michael Ankhobia, then I just say that he blasted out of eternity into our lives. He, from the minute Michael Jackson was able to walk, talk and sing, he did so. And he didn't stop until the very end. And in an era where TV, media and entertainment is a focal point of everybody's attention, he showed us to the maximum how it can be used to inspire, to direct and to guide a people, his own people, and the rest of the world who was watching, as to how to reach for the stars, be a star, and then go beyond the star. You know, for me, where I was alive when Michael was a living legend, now he's gone into the realms of, he goes up there with all those great, you know, like somebody says to me the other day, in heaven they've got a whole heap going on these days because they've left us nothing down here on earth. And you know it and I know it, that who else can we say, God, if he goes or she goes, the world is going to be a much worse place. I can't think of
Muhammad
anyone.
Ali, perhaps?
Apart from Ali, yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm glad
man.
you bring me in there,
Yeah.
sir. But Ali, that's another subject for another day.
time, another time.
Me,
But
and long
apart-
may you live.
Apart
Yeah,
from
man.
Muhammad Ali and from some of us who are a bit hardcore, with people like Winnie, but in terms of the international platform,
Yes.
then Michael is
Mandela.
now.
I have a feeling people would really pour out for Mandela.
Maybe, I doubt it. But who? Nelson Mandela? No, don't go
they
there.
will.
They would. Maybe you wouldn't,
A
but
lot
they
of
would.
people
Mandela.
won't, and they won't do it from the heart, because what have they got to celebrate? What have they really got
I
to
will.
celebrate?
The struggle that he
He didn't
rep-
go through any struggle.
He
They
went
don't
through
even
the
know
struggle.
about the South African
Listen.
struggle. Oh, they won't, Ankhobia, trust
They
me.
will. They
They
will.
will.
For whatever reason they choose, they will.
They will.
They're not going to bar. They're just going to walk and talk and say
No,
Mandela's
they
dead. They
will
are
bar.
not going to bar. I'm
They
telling
will
you.
bar.
All
I've
right,
been to
all right.
Robben Island and I've stood where they held him captive, and trust me, it choked
You
me
bawled.
like a dog because I bawled.
But that's you. But how many people have been to Robben Island?
Well, you know, they
Anyway. There you go. No, you mash up, Miss Peach. No.
Yeah, you were saying Muhammad Ali.
Okay, so apart from Ali, then our legends are dying. We're not coming with anything new. We're not coming with any more original. You know, some people say that this is the last days, and I don't believe in the last days.
Yes.
But I do believe that we're going through a profitless time, a
Yes.
time where there's no spirit on the planet, a time where there's no true inspirators. The pure spirit, the pure souls, the pure energies have all been brutalized. And I
Yes.
think they find it difficult to rise up in this time, because they know if they rise up, they are going to be under such severe attack that it really isn't worth their while. So like I say, I thank God Almighty for Michael Jackson. I thank him for his existence. I thank him for the love that he demonstrated, and even within preparing for this show and the video, the CD that you've got that we're putting together, you know, I've learned even so much more about Michael and so much more about myself. And you know, the king is dead, but God save the king. The king lives
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
And now he's gonna really be moonwalking amongst them stars.
On the moon. Wow,
She was
yeah.
LJ was giving me some jokes the other day. You were saying that if they're all in heaven now singing, and there's a heavenly choir, Alvis can't even get into the hall to be one of the participators.
He
Because all
couldn't
the
even get in
greats,
the choir. Look at all the greats, and now to
James
top it
Brown,
now, is
Barry
the-
White,
you know,
Marvin Gaye,
Luther
Bob,
Vandross,
Peter
you know what I
Tosh.
mean, come on, Dennis Brown. Wait, let me tell you something. Imagine
Garnet Silk. They're
what
all up
a
there.
choir. Understand me?
And you know the
now-
Jamaicans are running things up. Oh, you
Hey,
know they're
listen,
causing hell up
and
there.
now let me tell you,
Yes.
James went to start the motion, but now Michael is going to second that emotion. He's gonna be moonwalking amongst them stars, baby. Trust me, every legend that's passed now will now learn the moonwalk. I promise you that. When you reach them gates and they slide back, it won't be sliding back because someone's gonna pull it. They're gonna moonwalk them back, baby. Waiting for you. Trust me, I'm coming. Wait for me. Wait for me. I'm coming.
Take your time and get there. Take your time and get
coming,
there.
Michael. Wait for me. I'm coming.
I thank you ever so much for coming on to the On a Level Talk Show. It's been great talking with you guys. I've had a great laugh, a lot of insight. Michael's story is certainly a story that we should embrace.
Yeah.
I was listening to Michael and they asked him how does he get his inspiration, and he says, I learn about great people. So I study, he said, I've learned about Muhammad Ali, Mandela. So he's going through all the great people whose lives that he has studied, and from their lives they get inspiration, and that's where he gets his strength from. And I think there is so much for us to take from Michael Jackson. They say that the creator sends people into the world to bring forth a particular quality or expression of the creator. Michael Jackson brought so much different aspects of the creator in the music, the song, excellence, perfectionism, everything.
Innocence.
Hey,
purity.
Just, you know, he, again, like, you know, as we're closing.
amazing,
You
absolutely amazing.
Really, you know, again, I have always said, and I use it as an inspirational song, not just for myself, but for others. Always, whenever we're making a judgment or whenever we want to change things in our lives or around our lives, look at the man in the mirror.
You have to. Let's leave the show with that. Give thanks. Of course, if you have any comments about tonight's show, then by all means email me, ankhobia@hotmail.co.uk. Ankhobia is spelled ANKHOBIA. Ankhobia@hotmail.co.uk. Yeah, so hit me on Facebook as well. Just type in Ankhobia on a level. Ankhobia again, ANKHOBIA.
And we don't forget to remind you that down here at New Style Radio, 339 Dudley Road, the home of #1 community radio station, there is a condolence book downstairs for Michael Jackson. Please feel free to come along and leave your message of condolence for the Jackson family, and write something probably like what Michael meant to you, inspire for you, somewhere for you to have a release, because you know in the media we don't have that, but we have somewhere where we can leave our messages that they'll go in the condolence book that will be sent on to America, to the Jackson.
Jackson family.
we do encourage you to do that. 339 Dudley Road, Winston Green, home of New Star Radio. Man in the Mirror.
And we're gonna hit you and leave you with this song. Stay tuned, stay blessed. This is the On Level Talk Show with me, Ankhobia. So make sure you stay tuned to New Star Radio 98.7 FM. This is the Michael Jackson special tribute.
Reasoning empowerment for the community with Ankhobia on 98.7 New Style Radio.
The moonwalk is a dance that I would love to take credit for, but I can't, because I have to be completely honest here. These black children in the ghettos they have the most phenomenal rhythm of anybody on the earth. I'm not joking. I get a lot of ideas from watching black children, and they have perfect rhythm. So just riding through Harlem, I remember in the early, late 70s, the early 80s, I would see these kids dancing on the street, and I saw a kid doing this kind of sliding backwards, kind of illusion dancing, I call it. And I took a mental picture of it, a mental movie of it, and I went into my room upstairs in Encino, and I started to just do it and dance and create and perfect it. But it definitely started within black culture, no doubt. And that's where it comes from.
Ankhobia with On a Level on New Style Radio 98.7 FM.
Jesse, in my heart, in my deepest of heart, I really love Africa, and I love the people of Africa, and that's why whenever I get the chance, my children and I, we jump on the plane and we fly to Africa and we vacation there. I spent more of my vacations in Africa than any other country. And we love the people and we love the environment. Topographically, it's one of the most beautiful places on the surface of the earth. They never show the sandy white sugar beaches, and it's there. They never show the beautiful, the landscaping. They never show the buildings, the metropolis of Durban, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Kenya, the Ivory Coast. Rwanda, they never show how beautiful the place is. And it's really stunningly beautiful. And I want to heighten that awareness with what I'm doing. And that's been my dream for many, many years. And everybody around me know that because I go there very much. But in the rhythms of Africa, which are the roots of rhythm, that's my favorite music. Because I think that's the favorite music of the world. Because all music is derived from that. I mean, Africa is music. It is the origin. It is the dawn of existence. And so you can't avoid that. So that's in everything that's been influenced, by myself. The world is jealous of Africa for many centuries because the natural resources are phenomenal. It really is. And it is the dawn of civilization. Our history, a lot of our Bible history is right there in Africa. And King Tut, all those great civilizations, that is right there in Africa. Egypt is in Africa. And they always try to separate the two, but Egypt is Africa. Because I go to Africa all the time. I love the culture. I love the people. I love what they represent.
Ankhobia with On a Level on New Style Radio 98.7 FM.
Broadcasting across the city on 98.7 FM. New Style Radio.
Gonna make a change for once in my life.
Okay, I'm gonna end it right there. It's been a lovely show this evening. Phone lines coming in thick and fast. Big thank you once again to LJ and Rema. True stars. Peace.
Birmingham's #1 for African arts, culture, and Afro edutainment. 98.7 New Style FM.